魅力ありますか？
もちろんあるよ。めちゃくちゃ魅力的だ。よかっ
た。
俺にはもう付き合っている人がいるんだ。
そうですか。
売りたくなんかない。とはいえ彼女のことも裏切れない。だからもし許されるなら二股していいか。一緒に彼女に聞きに行かないか。
What exactly makes a show trash? Some could argue, well, it's the plot. Take a show like Domestic Girlfriend, for example. The plot is so unbelievably absurd and causes such a tangled web of nonsense that you can't help but watch the absolute train wreck in motion. You begin just losing yourself in this garbage world and rooting for more and more absurdity to take place. Another good classification for trash would have to be the sheer smut quality of it. You can't have a good trash show without some huge male or female bahuka maduka duka flopping around left and right, causing whiplash from the sheer G-force of their movement. It also needs to feature characters who just don't act like real human beings. The actions that they commit are just the most baffling actions, making you question if the people performing them are actually aliens in disguise who learned how to become humans from watching a soap opera. I'd also say for a show to qualify as actual trash, there needs to be some amount of love and care put into the plot of it. It just has to feel like the creator actually cares about the product. But Jesus Christ, do they misfire worse than my dad when he was trying to make a competent son. You'll be able to tell really quickly if there's any actual care put in the plot or not. Take a movie like The Room, for example. It's so baffling. The directing choices, they make absolutely no sense.
Oh, hi, Mark.
But at the same time, it's so captivating because it truly feels as if Tommy Wiseau thinks he is making an all-time classic film and he's putting his heart into it. That will always be better than one of those rip-off films like Atlantic Rim, where you can tell that they just want people to think it's trash and that's the audience that they're going for. Now, that's not to suggest that you have to think you're making an all-time amazing classic show. It more means that what you're doing you actually care about. Like, what you're putting out there isn't just some half-baked piece of shit, essentially. I'd say the most important factor in what makes something quote-unquote trash is the sheer feeling you have from watching it. Your neck should feel a lot of whiplash as you're watching through it. The amount of times you pause the video to just stare in utter disbelief at the bullshit has to be very high. It's difficult to turn a show that is so unbelievably trash and awful into an enjoyable experience. For every Domestic Girlfriend or Kiss X Sis out there exists another equally awful show that is just not enjoyable. The art of the -10, as they say, in enjoyment is a difficult mountain to climb, and it's difficult to find these absolute foul gems of shows. So that's why I'm taking it upon myself to truly search out and find the most baffling, the most bizarre, and the most enjoyable garbage out there. We start our journey to find out, is this trash actually treasure? Let's start our journey at the most recent show that I think comes into this classification of trash, that being Kanojo or Girlfriend. It is able to combine several elements of what makes a trash show, well, trash. We follow a main character who is so unbelievably daft that you simply stare at the screen in amazement. My man's is horny on main, on side, and just all around. This guy, who, mind you, is already in a relationship with arguably one of the best looking girls in the school that he has been trying to get with for years, really wants both those cakes and he wants to eat them too. When presented with a relationship request from the clear best girl in the show, Nagisa, he deadass pulls a Joseph Smith and goes to ask his girlfriend if they can form a love triangle. What an advancement in the world of the harem anime. Who needs a best girl war if everyone wins at the beginning of the show? Genius. You know I have to respect the hustle on this absolute mad lad Noya. Not only does he go and ask if he can date both of them, he actually gets away with it. I mean, play that situation out in your head if you aren't in a poly relationship. Imagine walking up to your partner and asking to form a romantic triangle with a girl you just met 20 minutes ago because essentially you think she's cute. How did it work out for you? Honestly, if it worked out for you, congratulations. That's pretty cool, you know? Good for you. But for the rest of the people out there, let's be honest, that did not play out very well. My man is so blunt and straightforward. Half the lines he says in this godforsaken show makes it highly sus as to whether he is an actual human or one of those bots you find on those weird chat sites. I really thought the bar was set high on absurd trash and just baffling main characters when it came to that show about the rentable girlfriends, but building your own harem ending might just take the cake from it. There is no worry for best girl if he just bull rushes the plot to end up with all of them. I respect the grind, brother. I respect the grind.
It's the motherfucking Eagle Double G. Snoop Dogg.
Speaking of best girl wars, this might be the one solitary chance for a blue-haired girl to actually do the unthinkable and survive the Harem Battle Royale in a matchup more lopsided than an NFL team blitzing a youth club. Nagisa is just so much better than Saki. The show doesn't even try to hide it either. Literally, when asking what she can even do, Naoya tells Saki to not worry about it and just be herself, which basically entails her being a lazy sack of shit and contributing nothing to society. You know, the more I think about it, the more I realize I kind of identify with Saki. Anyway, how is this battle even fair? Blue-haired girl literally misses an entire semester of school to train herself to become a lean, mean, Naoya nabbing machine. She does everything for him. Cook, clean, put up with his lack of utter social graces. No normal human speech patterns. In no world should this be anywhere close. Which is why I'm obviously going to put all my money on Saki to win in the end. I just have that little faith in blue-haired girls to actually win in harems. I have been burned that many times watching. Something is just so unnerving about the sheer absence of anything enjoyable in the opening. It's so jarring. Like, the opening song is a really fun and good bop. You'd expect some sort of fun, upbeat visuals to go along with the song. Take a show like the Rentable Girlfriend show, Rent a Girlfriend for example. The high upbeat tone is matched with an equally entertaining, fun cuts of visuals. Girlfriend, on the other hand, we get to see a glimpse into what can only be described as a Pythagorean Pollock nightmare art exhibit, complete with several triangles. Well, you see, it's clever because there's the love triangle, and that means that it's going to be a lot of love triangles, so the visuals are actually really clever when you think about it. Yes, I get that. However, one, it's not a love triangle. There are 5 people involved in this, so they should really be flying pentagons, not triangles. 2, it's essentially the equivalent of a 5th grader who's just learning how to write creative fiction, trying to use metaphor and descriptors like, let's put a bunch of triangles there. That'll really get the point across. 3, Sugma. Honestly, it is incredibly difficult to not just get pissed looking at these characters. So many baffling decisions lead to plot points that just don't need to happen. Well, we can't talk to Nagisa at school. They'll somehow find out we're in a polyamorous relationship and our social life will be ruined. Ignore the fact for a second that talking to people is just a completely normal thing to do at school, especially if they're the new girl. But, you know, whatever, I guess. I'm gonna run away from my boyfriend because I am mad at him for screwing me, and I am not gonna talk to him for 3 days as he pours his entire life savings into just getting my affection back. Okay, tsundere bitch or not, there is no way you can convince me that a person wouldn't try to communicate with their partner if they saw them literally dying trying to get to talk to them again. Speaking of the whole life savings portion of that talk, let's do a quick cost analysis on my boy Naoya. This man volunteers to give up not 1, but 2 life savings in the course of 2 episodes. Twice, my man has either paid or attempted to pay people with his life savings. Assuming he is a second year in high school, that would put him about 17 years old. I did the play-by-play. I checked how much money it was. It was this. How in God's green earth does a 17-year-old who apparently lives by himself and has no parents make this? What is he doing? It's all these small confusions and just stupid elements that make this show just absolute dookie. You put on top of this the fact that everything is just so unbelievably stilted in conversation, and it makes Girlfriend such a cringy watch. But good God, do I love it. For just its absolute failures, it is made in such an inept way, with just so much awkwardness in the dialogue. There's something beautiful in seeing a creator fail to make something as simple as a harem comedy, actually entertaining or funny. You know how in Civilization, when you become too good of friends with him, he actually attacks you and becomes evil. This is kind of like the Gandhi of harem comedy. By it being so unbelievably unfunny, it somehow reverses itself and becomes funny. It failing to make any sort of joke actually land is kind of what makes it so charming. This is an absolute great trash watch if that's what you're into, which I'm assuming you're probably into, given that you looked up a review of Girlfriend.